Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is September 12th, 2021, and I have got an amazing piece of information here. Everything is looking directly at the Day of Atonement, and we're going to discuss this. We're going to talk about all the signs that we have been watching and following, and now we've got very specific signs. The closer we get, the clearer it becomes. So let us take a look at the Day of Atonement. We've just come past the Feast of Trumpets between September 7th, 8th, and 9th. And now we are looking at the Day of Atonement. And the Shemitah year is a very interesting piece of information that goes together with all of this. From 2014, the sign of the two cows, and we have the blood moons of 2014. Is this quite possibly the year of Jubilee? This is another thing that we are considering between the Shemitah and the Jubilee, and the Jubilee trumpet, which is sounded on the Day of Atonement. So let us take a look at September 17th and 18th. On the Hebrew and Torah calendar, both are in agreement that we are in the month of Tishri, that we are in the season of the days of awe between the Feast of Trumpets and the Day of Atonement. And so what I want to do is I just want to give a general overview basically going back one birth cycle. Okay, going back one birth cycle. And where everything began last year, starting with the election of Joe Biden. Okay, so we're going to go back to the election of Joe Biden on November 4th, 2020, which on the Hebrew calendar was Chesvan 17, the day the flood began. Okay, now when Joe Biden was elected, the New York Times came out and said the presidency of Joe Biden is the third term of Barack Obama. We know that Barack Obama is running the show behind the scenes, so everything that Joe Biden is doing is actually in the name of Barack Obama. Okay, especially now with all of the mandates connected to the jabbing that are going forward. And at the end of his speech, Joe Biden said that there are more coming. This is just the beginning. So everybody heads up about where we are going from here. Okay, so Chesvan 17, 1 year ago, November 4th, the election of Joe Biden, 317 days. Then we have the release of the Promised Land book, 304 days, November 17th. Then we're coming up on the Hanukkah eclipse. Now, here is the very important detail in where we are right now connected to the Hanukkah eclipse. December 14, 2020, which was the confirmation of Joe Biden. It was the first vaccinations. And the Hanukkah eclipse of December 14, 2020, not only was it 40 days from the beginning of the flood, November 4th to December 14th. Okay, we've got the date of the flood beginning on Chesvan 17. We've got a 40-day connection to the Hanukkah eclipse. So there's a 40-day flood there. And then from there to where we are now, coming up to September 17th, is 277 days, which is 9 months and 3 days. Okay, so we have this perfect birth cycle. All right, we have this perfect birth cycle that we are watching from the beginning of the vaccinations, from the confirmation of Joe Biden, and from the Hanukkah eclipse. Okay, all of this connected by a birth cycle. All right, then we've got the Great Conjunction that happened on December 21st, 270 days. We've got from the Joe Biden inauguration, 240 days. On January 20th, we've got from the sign of the Son of Man on February 11th, 218 days. And then we have three very important confirmations in everything else we're watching, especially about the validity of where we are in the calendars this year. Okay, April 4th was Resurrection Day, but it was also day 1290 from the Revelation 12 sign. Okay, so we have the correlation from the Revelation 12 sign of 2017. We've got the day counts that bring us right to Resurrection Day. And then if we go forward another 45 days, it brings us exactly to Pentecost on day 1335 from the Revelation 12 sign. Okay, so we're coming up closer now. We've got 166 days from Resurrection Day. We've got 120 days, 121 days from Pentecost. Then we have the blood moon eclipse that happened on May 26th. 114 days to the Day of Atonement. Okay, now all of this, I'm just laying a foundation so you can see how everything is building upon itself, all the signs that we have been following, how it's connected to the birth event, and now as we get closer and closer and closer, these signs are going to be even more spectacular, okay? The blood moon eclipse of May 26th is 114 days from the Day of Atonement. Then we come to the total solar eclipse in the sign of Jonah on June 10th. It's 99 days to the Day of Atonement. We have the June 24th, 2021 sign of Jonah in Miami, Florida. A Jewish boy pulled out of a Jewish community building collapse. His name was Jonah. Sign of Jonah, okay? 85 days to the Day of Atonement, but we have a 40-day connection exactly to the birthday of Barack Obama. Now, we have some major confirmations that are beginning during the time frame of the birthday of Obama, and this is all going to tie in to our final warnings that we are coming up to the Day of Atonement. Okay, from June 24th, 2021, it's 85 days to the Day of Atonement, but it was 40 days also to the birthday of Barack Obama on August 4th. July 19th, which was the 9th of Av, is 59 days. 60 days coming up to the Day of Atonement. And August 4th, look at this piece of information and how all of this is going to tie together then with the signs that came at the beginning of August. August 4th, 2021, Barack Obama birthday, which was also 40 days from the second sign of Jonah, 44 days to the Day of Atonement. Okay, from President number 44, from his birthday, okay, remember on the napkin of his birthday, he had 44 times 60, 44 times 60, he's President 44, 60th birthday, okay, well, from his birthday, go forward 44 days, it brings us right to the Day of Atonement. Okay. But the sign came exactly on his birthday, the day of the party, when he revealed himself to be lightning from heaven. And we had, okay, this is not just one sign standing in and of itself. We had a nova star that appeared on August 8th in Ophiuchus, which is the serpent bearer, represents Michael throwing out the serpent. Where did it appear? It appeared exactly in the tail of Ophiuchus, the tail of the serpent within Ophiuchus. Okay, so we have a nova star appearing in the heavens, plus we have Barack Obama revealing himself to be lightning from heaven. This is a 40-day warning, okay, to the Day of Atonement. Then, what happened on August 28th? August 28th was the eruption of sunspot 2860, which represents bridegroom 2860, a 21-day warning to the coming of the bridegroom through a sunspot that not only appeared, but it erupted on August 28th. Okay? So this is a very important. Now we have signs on earth and we have signs in the heavens. Okay? Now, okay, so we have a 40-day warning. We have a 21-day warning. Do we have a 7-day warning? Well, we have one of the biggest 7-day warnings you will ever receive, and this is the clear and plain and absolute declaration that the vaccinations are going to be mandatory. Not they are going to be, they are now mandatory. Mandatory for all federal workers, mandatory for all companies that have over 100 employees, and there are more coming. There is much more to be expected with all of this. The end of Joe Biden's speech, there were a number of things he said there at the end of his speech. If you go back and listen right at the end, like the last 5 minutes of the speech, about more mandates coming, more laws coming, more pressure coming. Okay, all of this is moving forward. We have the absolute declaration that you will not be able to buy or sell. They are going to manipulate the vaccinations so that you cannot buy or sell without it. This is 100% the confirmation of what the Bible says. You will not be able to buy or sell without the mark of the beast. Okay? This is all connected. The other thing that was revealed in Joe Biden's speech is that they are the catalyst, the number one pusher of vaccinations throughout all of the world. They've donated more vaccinations to all of the poorer countries than any other country combined, than any other region behind. Even, he said in his speech, even more than Russia, Europe, and China combined. Okay, so where is the vaccination coming from? Who is promoting the vaccination in the entire world? Barack Obama, because Barack Obama is running the show in the United States, and he is the puppet master behind the scenes. This has absolutely already been shown. Now, the other thing we have within this is that September 14th, this hasn't even happened yet, but it's already in the news, and this is the 1-year anniversary of the Abraham Accords that was signed. Okay, last year the Abraham Accords were, they drew up the deal on August 13th, but they had the big meeting and the signing of the Abraham Accords on September 15th last year. Okay, so this year, on the 1-year anniversary, 1-day difference between September 14th and September 15th, they are meeting again in Washington at the Four Seasons Hotel, and they're going to have representatives from the Biden administration, representatives from the Trump administration. It's basically the first time, I think, that any of the Trump officials and Biden officials are going to be working together on something since Biden has been in. But they're going to be Trump officials, Biden officials. There's going to be officials from the United Arab Emirates, from Bahrain, from Israel, from Egypt, and from the United States. Okay, and there may be more, but this is basically one of the biggest proclamations since a year ago, since the Abraham Accords that they did a year ago. Well, they're confirming it. Okay, they're confirming the covenant 1 year later. This is a confirmation of the covenant. And this is the declaration of peace and safety. So within all of this, okay, we have the understanding of the Shemitah years, and especially from 2014. Now, if we go back all the way in the message that I shared the other day from Mark Biltz and the understanding of the Shemitah years, but especially in 2014, we had the beginning of the blood moons, and we had the 2 cows that were born and revealed exactly on the Feast of Trumpets, pointing us to the Feast of Trumpets and 2021, okay, which is now the year 5782. This is one part of that understanding. The other part of the understanding is the possibility of this being the year of Jubilee. and the connection to the Shemitah year, the connection to the deliverance. Okay? Leviticus 25:9, you shall cause the trumpet of Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. On the Day of Atonement, you shall make the trumpet to sound throughout all your land. So the big day within the year of Jubilee is the Day of Atonement. This is the day of the great last trump. Day of Atonement. Okay. The other thing that we understand, and we were watching, okay, and this is from September 11th. This photo here from Stellarium is September 11th. There appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, upon her head a crown of 12 stars, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Within everything we were watching leading up to the Feast of Trumpets, we've got Venus in the birth canal. Okay. Mercury and Mars do not show up in this photo, but we have Mars up at the head of Virgo, Mercury down here in the middle of Virgo. We've got Venus coming through the birth canal of Virgo. She's clothed with the sun, and we've got the moon at her feet as we are leading up to the timing of the Revelation 12 sign from the beginning of the Feast of Trumpets to the third day of Tishri. Then we have exactly, together with all of this timing, the announcement of Joe Biden mandatory vaccinations, which becomes a 7-day warning on the third day. If you come to the third day of Tishri and you make an announcement on the third day of Tishri, then you have a 7-day warning to the Day of Atonement. Okay? So what we are watching then leading up to the Day of Atonement is we have this birth cycle that is finishing. Okay? Birth from the beginning of the vaccinations. Birth from Hanukkah to the Feast of Trumpets. We've got this whole 9-month process. And what does it say right at the end of the birth process? The confirmation of the end of the birth process is the declaration of peace and safety. It's a 3-day warning. Sudden destruction. I mean, we're not talking about a declaration of peace and safety and then 40 more days or another 21 days. We're talking about the final sign before the judgment is going to come is the sign of peace and safety. But within this, we've got the 40-day warning from the Nova Star in Ophiuchus connected to the birthday of Obama. We've got the 21-day coming of the bridegroom. We've got the 7-day warning of Noah. Everyone is going to have to get in the ark of the government. This is the government's ark. You want safety? You want protection? You've got 7 days to get in the ark. This is your warning. Okay, this is the mandatory warning of the vaccinations that are coming. 7 days. And within this, we still have a sign that hasn't even happened yet. We're going to need to continue to watch. September 14th, watch this declaration that is going to be made with the Abraham Accords anniversary that they are doing on September 14th in Washington, D.C. The Declaration of Peace and Safety, sudden destruction. When they say peace and safety, sudden destruction will come as a woman in labor. See, it's all connected to a birth event. And this is what all the signs are showing us, leading us to the Day of Atonement. Okay. So we have been following the signs. Okay. It's not about simply a calendar that many say is off by 1 month. Okay. All right. It's not about just is the calendar right or wrong. What do the signs say? Okay. Okay, so everything we are watching has been leading us to this timing of the Feast of Trumpets. We did not leave on the Feast of Trumpets, but we had an absolute 7-day warning that came on September 9th and September 10th between the United States and between Israel The understanding that the United States is responsible for the vaccinations that are being distributed worldwide. Mandatory worldwide vaccinations are not only coming, they are now here. Okay? This is our most important 7-day warning that we have ever received. And together with that, we have a 3-day warning from peace and safety to sudden destruction on the Day of Atonement. Okay? So this is what I wanted to share with you guys. I pray you guys are blessed. Have a wonderful day. I will continue to study and share what I see. This is Steve Fletcher with the trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.